Welcome to today's webinar about our School of Management Financial Planning Program minor. As the world is experiencing unprecedented public health crises, the School of Management at Cal Lutheran stays committed to providing the best educational experience that our students deserve. Whether virtual or in person, we create an environment that provides both insight and inspiration, that both nurtures and challenges in a vibrant community that is moving forward together. In addition to our financial planning program, minor, the School of Management also offers a broad range of other programs, including 3 other majors, 6 minors, and 9 graduate degrees. We also offer a 4+1 program, which is an option to embark on graduate studies while you are in the final year of your undergraduate work to save money and finish your graduate work in as little as 1 year. The main features of all our programs is they combine choice and flexibility with high quality. My name is Josiah Gonzalez. I'm the Graduate Program Specialist of the School of Management. I am your host today. I am a proud CLU alum of the MPPA program. Dr. Jolly Jen is an Assistant Professor and Director of the Financial Planning Program at California Lutheran University. She maintains an active financial planning practice, specialized in succession program management at the Value Growth Institute. Dr. Jen?
Thank you, Josiah, and welcome everyone in today's session for Financial Planning Minor. We have a lot to cover today, and I am going to take you through a couple of things today, and that is we're going to start by looking at what is financial planning, what are some type of career path that you can consider when you are studying in financial planning minor. And should you consider to become a CFP or Certified Financial Planner? And Dr. Salahi will be joining us shortly later in the presentation to talk about financial planning minor coursework, as well as we're joining today with 2 existing financial planning minor students that we're going to be having them later in the presentation as well. And welcome everyone. So before we talk about financial planning as a career, and what I will invite you to do next is to use the chat box in the webinar and answer this question. That is, what is financial planning? What is financial planning? So in the group chat box, if you could enter your best guess answer into the chat box, please. Type in your answer, please. What is financial planning? That this terminology could sound very foreign to many people. And I'm assuming that, okay, good. So we have planning for the future. Very good. And financial, anytime when I see people talk about finance or financial terminologies, people tend to shy away about it because it might bring in an anxiety or some misunderstanding of the financial side of the things. So we have financial planning sounds like is something you plan for the future, handling financial issues. Those are a couple of other things. Anybody else in terms of what is financial planning? It's one of those terminologies that, we don't need to go by the definition, but just by hearing it, if you were to ask a certified public accountant, they may have a different perception about financial planning. If you were to ask about an attorney, they may have a different definition as well. And welcome everyone. We have a couple of people just joining us. Welcome to the session today. And so let me go through what financial planning is, and don't get too scared about the slides that is in front of you. This is a formal definition coming in from from CFP board, who certify each one of us becoming a certified financial planner. In a nutshell, financial planning really is to create a solid financial plan that puts you in controls of your future. It takes the guesswork out of you managing your finances and set short-term or long-term goals and understanding the implication of every single financial decision that you make. It also makes sense for savings and investing, as well as avoiding financial setbacks. And I'm sure that you may know some people who currently is in a financial setback due to the COVID-19. Also, financial planning could also deal with some major life changes, such as getting married, buying a house, things like that. And as well as a good plan can avoid debt or credit problems, as well as helping you to retire comfortably on your own timeline. And ultimately, having a good financial plan in place will give you that peace of mind. Now, let's take a look at what financial planning a day looks like from a certified financial planner. I'm going to go ahead and play a video, so bear with us. Here's a video.
I love being a CFP professional because I am making a tangible impact in individuals and families every single day. I am looking over my calendar. I have quite a few meetings today. Let's talk about the B word. Let's talk about the budget. And I love to help my clients achieve their goals. We're pinky promising that we're gonna get it. You got it? All right. So I love having a virtual firm because I could literally work from anywhere on the planet. Being a financial planner, it allows you to build the work-life balance that you want. It really depends on the life you want to live and the balance that you want to have. So really, it's up to you. My very, very favorite certification is my Certified Financial Planner certification. I passed it, and it was the second most happiest day of my life. The first one was when I married my best friend. The financial planning profession, it's more than just about numbers. Actually, it's about building relationships. So I'm about to meet with my mentee. So I'm a mentor to a younger financial planner in the profession.
I really appreciate it. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't become a CFP. I just became one in August, so yeah.
Yeah, congratulations. Professionals who are interested into transitioning into the financial planning profession, or students who want to have a fulfilled career. And when you wake up every day that you're living the life that you want to live, and then ultimately bettering our society, then this is the career that they want to have. I've been able to expose my family and my community to what is a CFP professional, what we do, and especially with my Nana, she didn't have the financial knowledge. And so when it came time for her to spend the last golden years of her life, so to say, just relaxing, she was ill and sick and worried about finances. At that point in time, I vowed and dedicated my career to her, so that another family do not have to witness that when it comes to finances. That's why. My name is Rianka Dorsonville, and I am a CFP professional.
All right, thank you. And for those of you that don't know Rianka, actually I've known her for several years. That video was taken approximately about three to 4 years ago. Since then, her firm is now becoming the #1 largest virtual financial planning firm in the U.S. Very, very proud of her success. And you can make your career as however you wanted to structure your planning career looks like. In terms of statistics, financial planners are in high demand. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, they are projecting about 15% growth between 2016 and 2026. That means that if you go away with a financial planning minor, your job perspective is going to be much higher than any other people in the universities. They are approximately about 4% higher than any other occupations. Now, the key thing is Americans need financial advice. Approximately 46, almost half of American adults cannot cover an emergency expenses as little as $400. And 36% of the Americans between the age of 18 and 34 receive financial help from family members who doesn't live with them. And approximately about a third, or 31% of a non-retired people that are being surveyed have no retirement savings or pension. And these are alarming data and statistics to create the needs and demand for financial planning professionals in the industry. However, many of you probably are thinking about, I don't want to be a sales. Many of you probably are thinking about the advisors that you think about are typically a sales guys out in an office, and you don't want that. You don't want a commission. You just wanted to have a full-time job when you graduate. The good news is financial planning field or financial services industry has been changing in the past. There are 12 different ways for you to have a very satisfied career in this industry. For example, financial planning is not one size fits all career. It includes several firms, and I'm going to go through some of them. Something called Registered Investment Advisory Firm, or RIA, such as the RTD Financial Advisors, Wirehouse, which is a very traditional type of investment company, such as Morgan Stanley, UBS, Wells Fargo's, Merrill Lynch, banks, many of the banks that you work with, PNC, SunTrust, Bank of America, or national or regional broker-dealers firms such as Ameriprise, Raymond James, and these are household names, insurance broker-dealers such as Northwestern Mutual, AXA, Mass Mutual, independent broker-dealers such as Commonwealth Financial Network, or LPL Financial, or even direct channel that you probably are very familiar with, such as Vanguard, Fidelity, Charles Schwab, TD Ameritrade. All of these are potential career paths that do not require any sorts of commission. And it's a very, very rewarding career in the field. Now, in the chat box, I'm going to ask you to answer these questions. Who do you know is in the financial planning or financial services industry? Type that in the chat box and let us know that is it your parents, your relatives, your mentor, your friend? Who is that one person that you might potentially know of in the financial planning industry? So type that into the chat box, please. So we have several people join us at the very beginning. So feel free to type that in to see if you know of someone who is in the financial planning or financial services industry. So Griffin, thank you very much. A friend that you know of. Very good. Anybody else? Alan, your mother. So Alan, that's great. If your mother is in the industry, you're going to have such a great mentor to begin with. Congratulations there. Josiah mentioned about a colleague. Oh, that might be me or somebody else. Who else wanted to share with us? Who do you know in the industry that is in the financial planning? When I started out, I actually watched my dad, who is not in the financial planning industry, but he buy and sell stocks. And that's how I get to learn about the industry, because of my dad. But that wasn't financial planning when I was growing up. So Hosean mentioned about that. He's the only one in the family, but you met many people that like your family that to you now. So yeah, so you may not know a lot of people, but by having the conversation like this, you'll get to know that this is a wonderful career path just to be aware of financial planning and financial matters in your own life. Now, financial planning is such a very rewarding career. Why do I mean that? Other than the fact that many Americans need financial advice, the need for financial planner is really, really substantial. Give you some perspective of numbers. There are approximately 750,000 financial advisors in the United States alone. Less than 10% of those advisors is certified financial planner. And within that certified financial planner, only 20% of them are women. So I'm only one of the 20% of women in as a certified financial planner, and less than 4% of the certified financial planners are African American, Latinx, or people of color. And as you know, we like to work with people who like us. Therefore, the demand for underrepresented groups of folks to come into the industry is really, really a great opportunity. So think about that as you considering to go into the financial planning minor. As I mentioned earlier, that in the Certified Financial Planner certification, which is just like when you have an accounting major, you elect to take the CPA exam. This is just like that. Financial planning minors will get you qualified to take the CFP exam and get you qualified to do financial planning work. How many of them are out there? In the U.S., there are approximately 82,000 certified financial planners as of last year. And outside of the U.S., we have approximately 100,000 or so certified financial planners. So in the world, there's approximately 200,000 certified financial planners. So there's a small group out of the billions of people out there are servicing this planet. Now, with that, I am going to turn the floor to our esteemed faculty, Dr. Hussein Salahi, to talk about financial planning minors. What does it take to become a minor, and what would be a best pairing major to consider? So, Dr. Salahi, you have to turn your microphone on.
Right.
All right, good.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Dr. Chen. So before I start talking about the structure of the financial planning minor, I would like to remind you that having a good understanding of financial planning concepts will enable you to not only make well-educated financial decisions throughout your own life, but also to help your family and friends, and of course other people with their financial goals. So our financial planning minor, in fact, includes 5 courses, and they are either 3 or 4 credit hours. And courses such as financial planning, personal financial planning and risk management, personal investing planning, employee benefits and retirement planning, principles of state and income tax planning. And at the end, when you pass all of these courses, you will take the financial plan development course, which is a capstone course, and you will work on a real life case study. So none of these courses has prerequisites, and they are very applicable courses, and they cover very interesting topics. Also, by getting this minor, you will fulfill the education requirement to sit for the CFP certification exam, which is one of the 2 well-known and well-respected certifications in the finance industry, along with CFA certification, right? So this minor is a wonderful fit for many majors, including accounting and business administration. And if you think you might be interested in this minor and hopefully in financial planning as your career path, I say that you test the water by taking personal financial planning and risk management, and see how you like the area, how you like the profession, and this career. Also, the other thing that I want to mention in this slide is that we also offer a 1 credit course. It is called financial literacy, and if I'm not mistaken, it is a UNIV 102, and it's a great course to start with to get yourself familiar with the financial literacy. Okay, so I'll turn it over to you, Dr. Chen.
Okay, great. Thank you, Dr. Salahi. And we just throw a lot of stuff at you, looking at all various different courses. They sound so difficult, but don't worry. You're here not just for hard studying. You're also here for fun. What I mean for fun is you're here to build your network and to work with many different clubs on campus. So I'm going to talk a little bit about one of the students club that we have. It's called the Financial Planning Association Student Club. Last year, we took 4 undergraduate students to go to the CFP board conference in Washington, D.C. 3 of them already graduated. And these are type of activities that you can be involved through the students club. Now, in addition, other than the national conference opportunities that we often take our students to, we also have special funding coming in from TD Ameritrade. Just to let you know the scope of this particular funding, there are approximately about 230 universities in the United States that provides and qualify to provide financial planning education. 30 of those universities get invited to attend and fully funded by TD Ameritrade's national conference. And of those 30 universities, each university can only provide 2 students and 1 faculty member. And so this year we have, we're very, very fortunate to have Dr. Salahi to take 2, I believe there were 2 students supposed to be attending, but Zach ended up attending the conference with you. So, Dr. Salahi, would you mind to chat with Zach a little bit about the experience that he has at this particular conference?
Yeah, absolutely. Zach, if you don't mind, please turn on your mic and video webcam. Awesome. Great.
Yeah.
All right. As Dr. Chen mentioned, we went to the 2020 TD Ameritrade National Conference, which was in Orlando. And Zach actually participated in this conference. So I want Zach to just share his experience, with other students who are interested in going to such conferences. How was your experience, Zach? How did you find the conference, and what are the main points that you want to share with other students here?
Yeah, I mean, it was a great opportunity, because I was in Dr. Slahy's investment planning class the semester before, and then I got nominated to go, and it kind of conflicted with some stuff in school schedule and baseball schedule for me, but I just thought it was a great opportunity. I couldn't pass up. So yeah, we went out there. We flew out to Orlando. All the costs were covered, so that was great. And then some of the highlights for me was just being able to meet all the other students from the, Dr. Chan said, the 30 other universities. I got to meet students from Texas Tech, especially a lot of East Coast schools. My roommate in the hotel was from University of South Florida. So just getting to meet a lot of students with similar interests like that was great for me. Just because we do have a fairly small program at Cal Lutheran. So just seeing that it really does go nationwide was interesting for me. And I also enjoyed kind of the networking side of it. There was thousands of investment advisors from across the country there. So we just there were some more formal networking events where a lot of people were looking for jobs or internships coming out of the conference, where we were supposed to be talking to investment advisors, but then also just at meals like lunch, and there were some dinners. We were able to just sit down and talk with advisors and hear about their stories and their careers. And, some of them had built their own firms over the years. So just getting to hear the personal stories like that, I thought was one of the highlights of the conference for me.
Yeah, thank you, Zach. So as Zach mentioned, this conference was fully funded by TD Ameritrade, and even for some small costs that they didn't have any plan, they gave us this gift card. So everything was fully funded, and it was a great opportunity. I personally had a blast in this conference, and I think it was a great opportunity for students to meet other practitioners and pick their minds on the profession and their career path and the industry growth. It was a really great, opportunity for students as well as, of course, for me. And just a little to add a little bit on the, the selection process, how I nominate the students. It's pretty simple. First and foremost, I really want to make sure all of my students in financial planning minor will have this opportunity to go to these conferences. And one of them is just TD Ameritrade conference. So as long as you are engaged in classroom and you show your work in semester projects, you are a potential candidate for me. And I know other faculty may always nominate their best students, but I do really care about your process and your improvement throughout the whole semester, or even, multiple semesters and multiple courses that you're taking with me. And this is a great opportunity for everybody. And, as you get closer to your graduation and you start looking for internships or maybe full-time positions, these are a great conference opportunities to go out there and talk to potential employers. Yeah. Thank you so much, Zach. I think you answered all of the questions that I had, but if there is one thing that you would like to recommend to students today, what would that be?
Yeah, I was thinking about that question. So what I can is basically like just for me. So when considering like your major and like it's just thinking about more of the careers that could lead to rather than just getting a degree, I guess, and just making sure that career is lining up with your values and like what's important to you in your life. So, for me that works with financial planning, but just yeah, I just want to make sure everyone's making sure that you're thinking about the values and what's really important to you when you're thinking about a career. So. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much, Zach. So I just wanted to add one more thing about the major. So just to share a little bit about my background, I have 2 masters in economics and finance, and then I decided to change my major and get my 3rd master in financial planning, and then of course, my PhD in financial planning. So I have attended many conferences in economics, in finance, in financial planning. But one thing that I love about financial planning conferences is that there are a ton of topics that you can actually start conversation with others, and and by others I mean financial planners, investment advisors, other faculty from other universities, and even your peer students, and with other students from other schools. And you just need to stand there and they will reach out to you and start the conversation. Everybody is looking for young students to know them, to of course hire them. So as long as you don't look like somebody in their 60s or 70s, you are their target. Everybody is willing to come step forward and have this discussion with you and understand your goals. Are you looking for a job or not? What area are you interested in to start your career, or what from what state are you from? Other things. So it's really interesting industry and really open-minded individuals in this industry. Okay, turn to you, Dr. Chen.
Great. Well, thank you. And thank you very much for those wonderful comments. Zach, and I remember that the very first time you came to my office talking about financial planning minor, you were not very sure, but then you took the leap of faith, just moved forward with it. And who knew? And I believe that you're going to have a very successful career with the opportunities. And you're right, Cal Lutheran is a small university, but because of that smallness, we are able to tailor a lot of things to our students, bring them to conferences like this, as well as to get you proper connections to help you position yourself much better compared to the bigger school, if you will. So thank you, Zach, for sharing your experience. And thank you, Dr. Salahi, to talk about your own personal experience as well. So now we're going to turn over to our student club. So this picture is, I'm in the center, but on my left is Jared Martin, who is also a financial planning student with us. He is the current president of Financial Planning Association's Student Club on campus. So I'm going to be asking Jared a bit of questions. Jared, I'm assuming you are with us today. Is that correct? If you could turn on your microphone and turn on your camera so I can ask you some questions. Jared, are you able to turn on your camera? Oh, okay, good. I can see that you turn on your
I was trying
audio.
to turn it on, but it's
okay.
Not coming through right now. I'll have to sort out connection issues.
Okay, that's okay. So I can hear you. That's good. So I've got a couple of questions, and I think that you are probably one of those students that I met early on, that you were still not even a business major, and you took the a little bit of personal effort to compete last year in the financial planning competition, in the Financial Planning Association competition last year. So I believe that that journey kind of make you took the minor. So tell us a little bit about how did you come about financial planning? Why did you take the competition? And then how did you come about electing the minor?
All right, so I started out at Cal Lutheran as a computer science major, and I found myself, while enjoying it, not completely happy. And I decided to take I believe it was the Principles of Personal Financial Planning class with Professor Klepper. And that class really opened my eyes to the world that is financial planning. And through that, I actually heard about the student competition. So I decided to give that a shot. And after the first day, I knew it was something that I was going to enjoy quite a bit. And as I got deeper into it, I decided to definitely make the change to the minor. And I pretty quickly after that decided to change to a business major as well.
Good. And how did you learn about the Financial Planning Association Student Club?
Well, being that I was in a financial planning based class, I actually learned about it just because I believe an extra person was needed, and our professor reached out and asked if anyone in the class would be interested, and I was looking for ways to get involved, especially in the field of financial planning, because I had already enjoyed that quite a bit from what I had experienced in class, and I found that would be the perfect way, and it got me in not only with the student club, but the minor as well, and very, very much so appreciate that opportunity.
Yeah, and I believe it was Professor Klepper's class that you were in, and he is a practitioner locally right here around the campus area. So he's a great professor to kind of get you in the door in terms of introducing you to the industry as well as introducing you to the student club. So does the Financial Planning Association Student Club, how does it connect to the Financial Planning Association on the national level? Obviously, Financial Planning Association is a practitioners association. So how does the two get connected from student club to the national level?
All right, absolutely. So as a member of the student club, you actually get free admission to all of the FPA of Ventura County events, which is kind of our overarching organization, I suppose. And along with that comes the ability to go attend events with awesome speakers and a massive amount of local financial professionals to network with. I know alone, just in the 2 times I've been so far, I have met easily over 40 people, and I've listened to great speakers, and I've brought back a lot of information to my classes that I would not have learned necessarily otherwise because of their more niche applications or professionally applicable topics. And it's one of those things that you can cover a lot in a class, but they spend a 2-hour lecture, for example, on some niche aspect of estate planning that you wouldn't necessarily get a lot of experience from just from learning in class about the general knowledge. So if you come into it with a decent understanding of the topic in general, you're able to get a lot of really, really good stuff out of it that you wouldn't have been able to get if you didn't at least find a foothold in the profession before with all the great courses that we have at Cal Lutheran.
Well, thank you, Jared. And I believe that the 40 some odd practitioners that you met through the conference, in addition to the topics that you learn, whether or not it's estate planning, investment, and I believe that one of the topic was something about identity theft. Right? I remember it was one of the sessions that you and I attended.
Yes.
But nevertheless, that having that network in the back of your sort of backyard, if you will, speaking of job search, that would have come in very handy for you if you were to call someone about a certain firm, and I'm sure that those practitioners can easily help you out in that regards. So thank you for sharing those valuable experience. If you were to be able to recommend one thing to the incoming students, what would that be?
I would just have to say, relating to the minor especially, just get involved with it. I know the club's got a lot of great resources and can get you active in the community, but it's one of those things where the more you practice, the better you'll be, and getting involved is sure a great way to practice and gain some great experiences along the way.
Well, thank you, Jared, and wonderful. Both Zach and Jared, thank you so much for your contribution to the financial planning minor as well as the financial planning students club. And you two has obviously become a great role models for many of the new coming students. So thank you very much for your valuable experience today to share with our incoming students. So beyond the student club, beyond the national conferences that you potentially can come with the faculty member or other students, we are beyond just your study. On the slide here, you can see that we are so tightly connected into our backyard employers. We have directly placed students internship as well as full-time job with the company that you see on the screen. Mission Wealth is an RIA fee-only firm. Crestview is a broker-dealer firm. XY Planning is also a broker-dealer firm who just recently asking us to provide students for virtual internship. As many jobs get lost today in the COVID-19, financial planning industry is one of the few industries that continue to offer jobs, especially understanding stay-at-home order. The internships now has been turning into virtual internship, and that's not the only firm is doing that. I got a call yesterday from another local firm right here in our backyard here that is also looking for a virtual internship. So there are plenty of opportunities. We got students working in the Wells Fargo's Advisors, Mission Wealth, Charles Schwab's, TD Ameritrade's, Lincoln Financial Advisors, and JP Morgan's. We have our network is right in our fingertips. If you choose to go into the financial planning minor, we can help you get connected and even get you placed in the proper firms for your career. With that, I'm going to turn the floor back to Josiah. So Josiah, if you don't mind to turn on your camera and your mic, and let's see if we have any questions. If any of the participants have questions, feel free to type your questions into the chat box, or you can, I think you can unmute your line as well. If you have questions that you wanted to ask, you can also unmute your line to do so. Or you can simply type that into the group chat box. So Josiah?
Well, I have a question. So if I was a student who was interested in financial planning minor, how would they go about signing up for that? Or
Great question, Josiah. So Dr. Salahi, would you like to answer that question?
Yeah, absolutely. So if you are interested in minor, I would say you can start by taking Professor Klepper class, which is personal financial planning and risk management class. It's not really difficult, and you will cover almost all the topics that we will discuss in the minor in that class. And then you can, after taking that class and passing that class, again, as I mentioned, there is no official prerequisite, but this is the order that I usually suggest to my students. So after you take the fundamental class, and then you can start taking investment planning, retirement planning, and of course tax planning and estate planning. And when you pass all of these courses, as I mentioned, there is one final course which is a capstone class, and with Dr. Chen you will work on a real life case study with actual numbers from the actual client. So that's a great opportunity as well to actually work with the real numbers, with real life financial issues. Yeah.
And
I would before you move on, I would say that maybe the very first thing is deciding what classes to take is to have a word with your own advisor. Each one of you going to be assigned with an academic advisors. The advisors typically will help you start with your first course and then take it from there. So thank you very much, Dr. Salahi, for the answer. Josiah, what's the next question?
Just as a follow-up question to that, Dr. Salehi or Dr. Jen. So let's say I was a student, but I'm not too strong on my math skills. Can I still take this as a minor?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, I know it is a finance class and students are, a little bit shaky on math, but we don't, still we have some level of math, but the math is not really complicated as long as you know the 4 basic operation, how to add, subtract, times, multiple, yeah, you'll be fine. I mean, the math is not really difficult. Even the process is not just like accounting courses. So all the topics and all the like material that will be covered in this minor, they are really applicable, and you can start using them right in the moment that you leave the class. So you can start talking about like retirement plans with your dad or with your parents, with your friends, or talk about different investment opportunities that you are interested into, like investing in them. So it's not like a heavy math courses. Yeah.
Yeah, and I believe that one thing that, yes, you do need to have some basic math skill, but that's what the courses are going to teach you. Beyond what that basic math skill, what you can do with it in terms of calculating investment, retirement, and all that. But I think by far the most important few things that at least from my own practitioner experience, is that you have to be really, really good at with people. Your people skill comes first, because you have to design based on what the client's goals and objectives are. You have to be able to convey and communicate your plan to your clients and ultimately influence them to do something. So the people skill is probably by far more important than your math skill, if you will, because math can be done by software. Robots can do all that, but robot as of now still cannot having that good conversation with another human being. So if you are good with people, like to work with people, and able to have a good and want to learn more good communication skill, this is actually a great minor to have. Not to mention, if it's you can, even if you don't go into the industry, you can still use everything you learn on your own personal finance. So I think that's a great perk. What other questions do we have, Josiah?
So let's say, for example, a student is an accounting major, and
Yes,
accounting majors need about 150 credits to take the CPA exam. Can this minor be used to achieve that?
Would you like to answer that, Dr. Salahi?
Oh yes, I mean, accounting and financial planning, they go hand in hand. And if you are getting your major in accounting and you want to become a CPA, of course you can add more into your career prospect by also sitting for the CFP exam. So, and there are some overlaps, in financial planning minor courses. As I mentioned, I teach tax planning and estate planning, and I have students from accounting major, and they're telling me during the lecture that, oh yeah, we learned this, in that accounting course. Now we can see the application and how I can use that knowledge in filling my income tax return form. So absolutely, financial planning minor is a great fit for majors in accounting, in business administration, and finance, and other areas.
Right. So for if you are thinking about majoring in accounting and minor in financial planning, it's a great combinations. As a matter of fact, if you inquire some of the accounting related job, most likely retail accounting firms, they probably are hiring their own financial planning person as well. Because if you are in the retail, on the personal level tax return, you do need financial planning as well. So it goes hand in hand. In the past, people tend to tell me accounting and finance are like brother and sister. I don't know which one is what, but we do work very, very closely, and a lot of things get integrated. In addition to that, finance and accounting are quite different in terms of accounting really makes you very, very good at history, right? Historical transaction, historical number. Finance makes you a good decision makers. Your number that you crunch those numbers from the financial, from the accounting side, and then you use them to make decision. And that's what financial and financial plannings are for, helping you and helping your clients to make appropriate financial decision so you stay within that box of your goals and objectives and continue to achieve those. Do we have other questions, Josiah?
I just have one last one. So who would the students contact for more information about this?
Would you like to answer that?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So definitely students are more than welcome to email me and contact me. Let me put my Cal Lutheran email address in the chat box. So my email is hsalehi@callutheran.edu. Feel free to just reach out to me, email me your questions, anything, about financial planning, finance, or other majors. As I mentioned, I have really a broad background in economics and finance as well. So definitely I can help the students with any related questions.
And can the students request you as an academic advisor as well?
I mean, they can do that. Absolutely. I think Jared is a good example, and Jared changed his academic advisor to me. I think it was previously another faculty member, and he wanted to have me as his academic advisor. So yeah, absolutely. I'll be more than happy to consult them and help them throughout their whole degree plan, not just financial planning minor. And one more thing, I know we are running out of time and we have a limited time today, but I just wanted to add one more thing that literally sky is the limit in this profession, right? And there are a ton of opportunities that we couldn't cover in this short presentation. And as one example, I can say that there are several student competitions in addition to CFP board competition. We have Financial Planning Association Financial Challenge for students. We have Society of Financial Services Professionals competition, and just even one of them is on a cruise ship, right? So imagine that you are on your way to a Caribbean island on a cruise ship, and all the costs are covered by the conference scholarship, and you are competing with 5 other student groups for 5 cash prizes from, I would say, maybe $2,000 to $4,000. And then, of course, you have the opportunity to grow your professional network, and maybe you can get an offer for internship or a full-time position when you're back home, to the U.S. So that, and there are a lot of examples, like this that unfortunately we cannot cover, because of the time. Feel free to reach out to me or Dr. Chen if you have any questions about this.
And in the chat box, I also share a link in case if you wanted to learn a little bit more about the career opportunities. Next week, we have, well, actually today, not next week, this afternoon, we have a session to interview this particular planning practice. They only service one client since 1880s, one family, if you will. And it's a family office. And so the director of their financial planning is going to talk about how do they service 5 generations of one family for this particular client. Obviously, she won't tell us what the client is. You could probably guess. It's because it's 5 generations long. And so we have Next Gen mentoring forum available twice a month that we introduce you to various different industry practitioners about how they set up their firm, how they go about solving problems for the clients. So I really welcome you to join us this afternoon. That starts at 1 o'clock. So if you click on there, you can go ahead and register to join us at 1 o'clock. With that, if there's no other questions coming in, I'm going to turn the floor back to Josiah.
Okay.
And I wanted to thank Zach, Jared, and Dr. Salahi. Okay, thank you, Josiah.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Jen. Thank you, Dr. Salahi, and the guest students. So if there are no other questions, we'll go ahead and conclude the webinar. So as part of a vibrant community here at the School of Management, whether one is a student, alum, community, or advisory council member, both people and organizations place their trust in us. We value that trust, and professors and staff members alike go above and beyond every day to fulfill their expectations and to make their dreams come true. We believe we offer more to you than courses, programs, and degrees. As a business school, we are driven by innovation, by the passion of the people we employ, and most importantly, by the aspirations of the people we serve as we move forward together. Thank you for attending this webinar.